Hey parents, this is Mr. Thornton here. Probably didn't think you'd get a video from me, but I'm sure your kids have been seeing a lot of my videos for different activities I've been doing with them. But this one is for you. So I thought that it might be a good idea just to give you um, an idea of Edsby and how Edsby can help you with this distance learning that we're doing. Um, we are relying on Edsby as kind of like the first stop for everything. When we set up our assignments, Miss Webb and I, we post them in Edsby. All of our grades go into Edsby. We even have activities that they do, learning activities that they do right in Edsby. So because it's so important, it's such a big piece of this distance learning thing, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to have just some insider tips, maybe, to help you with navigating Edsby. So I've already signed into a student's account, and I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what they might, or what you see and what they might see. Now, you might have your own parent account, and I don't know exactly how a parent views what they can see. Um, but I can sign in as a student, and a lot of parents will just have their child sign in and then look over what they want to look over. So either way you do it, your own account or your child's account, um, this is what you would see when you first log in to Edsby, called the home page. There's some stuff up here at the top that are just kind of like school-wide news information, and this is a great video. You might want to check that out. Um, Over here on the right is kind of like a calendar. It says, today's Wednesday, today the school day, different assignments that we have. A lot of take test buttons, which I'll explain a little bit later. And over here on the left is all their different courses that they are signed up for. If they're any part of learning groups, you can click into that. But for the main part, I just want to kind of focus on mine and Miss Webb's classes and kind of how we do things. I'm just going to go into the math class here. By the way, in the math and science courses, there is an area over here called pinned items. So these are just things that we want to make sure are at the top of their screen. Otherwise, if we post something here, it just moves down and down further, as you go down. You start to lose. So the stuff that's over here on the left is kind of important things that are going on. I wanted to remind you that I have open Zoom time for students um, from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock every day. So they can just click on that link and join up, um, and I can work with them on any questions they're having problems with, or if they just want to say hi. But I'm here from 8 to 10 every day. Um, okay. Now, I want you to kind of draw your attention over here to this journal thing. Now, every Sunday night or Monday morning very early, Miss Webb and I will post our week's assignments right here on the right. Kind of in detail. It might have some documents that might help them with what they're doing this week. But this is where they need to kind of follow this plan. A lot of the activities that we do in Edsby, we kind of have to leave like a due date pretty far in advance just so that kids can complete them without the activity closing on them. So we're trying to be really generous with time. Um, but this would be what they should do if they're just doing school every day. This is what the plan would be for Monday. This would be what the plan is for Tuesday. Um, and that's that. Now, so this is the class page. And of course, any information that I want to like post, I usually kind of like do a little copy and paste of the day's assignments, so it's right here in the when they first come in the morning. But I want to bring your attention up here to the top right where it says My Work. And click on that. Now, the default page for this is to open up on a graph, a line graph, and it is kind of a interactive graph. You can see what all these different points of data mean to look for trends. But you could also see there's a average here of all the grades combined together. This is what gives Mr. Thornton a good idea of what kind of a grade he's at. This is clearly a B student right now, or B performance. The assessments is really where you want to look to be more specific. I can see here that he's got 3 upcoming assessments. He hasn't done them yet, or maybe I haven't put them in Edsby yet, so we don't. That's okay. These are assignments that have been graded. There's some mentions here. It looks like maybe this one he did not complete it, so maybe he stopped in the middle. You can go back and finish it up. You can see this little flag here, a yellow flag. I got something a little later than normal. A lot of these Edsby activities, I allow 2 tries on them so they can retake them to get a better grade if they want to. And over here on the right are the actual scores for every activity that's listed here. Now the scores could be in the form of a fraction, like this is 6 out of 6 points, so that's 100%. You might see something like 12 out of 14. I don't know offhand what that percentage is, but if you want to know, you can just use a calculator to figure that out. I want to go over to another. This is the science. Probably the first thing you notice when you go into the science was that he's got a not done thing here, and that's read on purpose to kind of draw your attention, like, hey, this kid needs to get this done, as soon as possible, or contact Mr. Thornton, or if it's Miss Webb's class, contact us about any problems they're having with completing that assignment. Okay, so there's again more. So these 2 things are usable. Right now, standards, attendance, and previous report cards are not features that our school uses. I want to show you one more thing up here. It says planner. Now, if your kid, and it's basically a list of assignments and tests and whatever from the beginning of the year and all the way through. This was the plan of me figuring out how they're doing in their work. I want to mostly everything from the beginning of the year here is just a list of assignments. You can go right to the Today button to get to today, April 22nd. And on Monday, April 20th, I posted the week's assignments. So if you, and because we're doing distance learning, I'm being very specific about what they have to do for every day. And this is their plan. This is the same thing that you saw underneath that word journal on the right side of their class page. If you need to go back a week to see, what did they miss, you can see that's there. That was for the previous week, and here's the science assignments for the week before that. So that can help you if you have to backtrack and see what they have maybe missed or didn't complete. Just wanted to give you that idea of what features might be helpful to you when you get a nasty message from Mr. Thornton saying your kid hasn't done any work last week, and maybe this will be helpful to you, and also just to see how your kid's doing. I gotta say, I'm blown away by how much the kids have stepped up and adjusted to this change that nobody could foresee. I wish I had time to go back and to the beginning of the year and plan for this. But as it was, we had to kind of learn all this right, during spring break of how to get our kids to be um, doing this distance learning and how we can communicate with them and how we can get grades from them and how we can instruct them. So it's been a learning curve for everyone, and the kids have really stepped up. And I know parents, I have nothing but respect for you. So I know many of you have did not expect to be your child's teacher this last quarter, and I know that your kids uh, probably couldn't do a lot of the things they're doing now without the support that you've given them. So I just, hats off to you. I appreciate it. I know so does Miss Webb. That's all I have for you today, and I will be in touch with you. And I hope I don't have to send you any nasty messages saying your kid hasn't done any work. But if I do, hopefully this will be a big help to you. So I'll talk to you later.